Why is it that the internet just provides us the wildest stories, and this story will just get more wild and wild and wilder and then insane? And this is how I feel about this whole JP Morgan executive fiasco here. And to summarize it for all of you guys, a lawsuit was filed up against this woman here called Lorna Hargini, if I said that right, who is a high-ranking executive member for JP Morgan Chase, which is a banking company. And she was accused of allegedly turning one of her junior members, if you guys are ready for this, a sex slave. That's right, a sex slave. And the allegations are wild. Sex abuse, harassment, and this is insane, spiking drinks. She would literally drug the member drink with Viagra and some other shit. And she was also racially abusing him as well, which on top of that, with all the stuff I said, and honestly, men getting abused by women, it needs to be talked about, because all the time it happens and it never gets called out. Yeah, women being abused, it should be called out. We gotta protect women at all costs as well, but also men. And it's very hard for men to speak about, because not many people would believe a man. So the internet found who the victim was, and it's this guy here. That's who he looks like. And his name is, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Chirana Rana or something like that. I don't know how to say his name. He's the victim. And allegedly, he said all these things of what she did to him. Allegedly. So let's read all this, shall we? Hajini then allegedly removed her shirt, began fondling her breast, and racially insulting Doe's wife, remarking, "I bet your little Asian fish head wife doesn't have these cannons." Wow. Making fun of his wife is insane. Oh, so he's married as well. That makes it even worse for him. I mean, it's still bad if he was single. It's still abuse. But the fact that he has a wife, that makes it worse. Doe claims she then forcibly removed his pants and performed oral sex on him against his will. He continued to protest and began. The complaint says she repeatedly reminded him that she owned him and that she controlled his promotion and bonus, which he understood as a threat that she would block both if he refused. Twice, Doe claims that Hajini propositioned him for oral sex in the office, on one occasion asking birthday BJ for the brown boy, my little brown boy. So that's where the racial abuse comes from, huh? My little brown boy. I mean, that's just wild. I fucking own you. I will make you pay. Do you think you're going to be in a good standing if you do not have me in your corner? She allegedly said, "You really think management wants some brown boy Indian leading organizations? If you don't fuck my brains out tonight, I'm going to sabotage your promotion." I mean, that's just wild. And this probably gets worse. I mean, I say it gets worse. All of it gets worse at this point. But the last part is probably the worst way to go out. June 9th, 2025. Doe says he received a voicemail from someone claiming to be a manager at JPMC, telling him he wasn't welcome because of his skin colour, adding that people don't want you or your kind here. So he's literally... I don't know if he's fired, but holy shit. So reading all that, you might think, we got to protect him, you know, after hearing all that, this is horrible. And it is horrible. And she should be going to jail and be fired. And that should be the right answer. And he should be protected, you know, and fair. And he should sue the company, and as he should. But as I said, this story gets more wilder. And boy, it flipping does. Because apparently, he faked a sex assault lawsuit to get millions from JP Morgan. He lied. After what he said about what she did to him was all a lie. Just for millions. I mean, why? You did all of that. You said all of those things. Just for millions of dollars. Oh my god. You're telling me he doesn't make good money? He works at a bank. I'm sure people at a bank gets paid loads of dime. And you done all of that sabotaging an innocent lady for millions of dollars. At this point, this guy is the biggest douche in the world. Like, why? Like, this world, honestly. Now, I feel bad for her, man. Just imagine if she wakes up and just looks at her phone and she's just receiving a lot of messages. Death threats. And probably calls from the police. And at her job. And her kids. She doesn't know what's going on. She's just receiving them. Because of this clown right here. Oh, by the way. This just gets more worse for this guy. Because apparently, JP Morgan reviewed emails, phone records, and interviewed employees. Their conclusion, complete fabrication. Hajini's lawyer says she was never at the alleged locations. So she wasn't there when he was getting abused. So she never entered his place, or it happened at the office. Because she was never there. So the pair of them were never working in the same building. Like, how stupid do you have to be to do all of that? Well, she was never there in the first place. Like, this guy is basically the dumbest human being, the biggest lowlife, and the biggest piece of shit. Men do get abused, and it's horrifying men going through that. But because of this cunt right here, it makes it so difficult for men speaking out. Because it's so hard that no one's going to believe them. Because they only want to protect women. But this fool right here lies about this. Really? You lie about abuse. You know there's people out there that actually do go through that. You might smile for all I care, but you're going to get slapped up in jail when this whole fiasco is over. So if this whole thing was a lie, is this part a lie saying, I bet your little Asian fish head wife doesn't have these cannons? So are you telling me that guy made it up? That's what he called his wife. A little Asian fish head. That is wild. He must hate his wife at this point. I wonder what his friends think of him. What does his wife think of him? I mean, at this point, this whole thing is just wild in itself. I hope she gets the justice she gets. And this guy should be in prison.